Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about air filters and oil quality and the weight of the oil. So what in the United States, I believe you want to run a 10W30. So that is going to cover you from 0 degrees to 100 degrees. I mean 5W30 if you're like in Canada, 0W20 is just no good. Now another thing that I like to do, I like to run conventional oil in the engines, and we change it the very first time is 50 hours for break-in, then every 100 hours for your oil. And the reason I like to run conventional oil is something called oil dilution that we're going to get into in a minute. So on your air filter, you'll just come in here, pop this cap off, and you can tell this car hasn't been out but maybe 50 hours. And that right there is what will kill your engine. And that filter don't look that bad, but it is. Now another thing that we always will plug, I have a very good friendship with Club Car, and I absolutely love Club Car. You can buy aftermarket air filters, and I suggest you use Club Car. This is a premium filter, and if you look into the aftermarket filters versus the air filter, the aftermarket filter will not have this grease that's in there that needs to be in there. What I want to warn you about is this is metal. If you do take that air filter out and put it on your battery, you're going to have a good day. You're going to have a fun day because it's going to arc and spark, and you're going to say something that you probably shouldn't. So always pay attention to that. Then the next thing I always see when people, technicians, anybody, put this housing back on, they'll do the easy thing and they'll put that housing on just like that. And if you look at that housing, where is the exhaust? That's heat going right into your engine. You do not want that there. You want it to be pointing all the way down, which I know it's a pain in the butt, but that is how that is supposed to operate. You do not want to be sucking excess heat into your air filter. So one thing I do want to tell you is from the Kohler coming off of the Subaru and the Kawasaki, they were all 9/16 the drain plug was. Now we're going to a 1/2 inch. And this is a kind of a pain if you don't have a lifting. You got to think about jacking the rear end up and putting the pan underneath it. I would really advise taking it to your dealer. That way he can get the oil all over him and you can have a good day. So on the end of this drain plug is a crush washer, which I just cut, and it is made from Kohler. A lot of guys will just literally put this drain plug on so tight it ruins the crush washer. We replace the crush washer here at Clay Creek every time we do a service. So with the Kohler engine, if you've ever noticed, we had the Kawasaki and the Subaru forever. They had big fill tubes for the oil. This Kohler engine, if you look at this fill tube right here, they have downsized it, and it is a pain to put oil in. And I'm going to show you a little tip that I have. If you just go to Walmart and get a filter and it has a little downspout about 3 inches and goes littler right there, and break that off, this will be the easiest way. It seals right in there. You can pour in there and you can leave that funnel. And that is going to be the easiest way to fill that. On the Kohler engine, we are going to put 40.5 ounces of oil in it. On your EX1, your E-Z-GO, you're going to put 48 ounces of oil in it. And this is where the funnel that I told you about is going to come in very handy, because you can pour everything in there and it will hold it. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess on the floor. I do love our new Kohler engine. I think it's one of the most advanced engines in the industry. And the app and the dongle that we have to talk to that engine is just, it reminds me of being in a dealership with OEM scanners. It's great. And you didn't spill a drop. If you do a service on a Kohler, go get you a funnel that you can take the end of it off. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about. There's a lot of Club Car and E-Z-GO will shy away from this, and I'm going to tell you straightforward. These cars, both cars, have an O2 sensor. So when you fire this O2 sensor right here, so when you fire this car up, it takes 1 minute for the O2 sensor to go into open loop. So when you fire this car up and your E-Z-GO, it shoots out so much fuel into that cylinder. So if you don't drive it for a couple minutes, then and shut it off, it's called, if you don't drive it for a few minutes, it won't burn the excess fuel off the car. So if you're in a situation where you're short tripping, which means that you're going from here, start and stop, and start and stop, and start and stop. And a lot of maintenance places will do that. The short tripping, what will happen after a month or two, you will get all kinds of fuel in the crankcase of the engine, and that happens on every car. So on the O2 sensor vehicles, the EX1, the Subaru, the Kohler, you have to drive it for a few minutes. And so the message of the day is,
treat your golf cart like your wife. They'll last a long time.
Have a good day. Hello everyone, we're here changing the spark plug today, and we're gonna go back here on this Villager and replace the spark plug, and I'm gonna teach you a little bit about it. So the very first thing on the Club Car product is Club Car has come out with their own spark plug that is from Kohler, made for our engines, the Kohler engines. You can find a off-brand spark plug. It is not going to run as hot as the Kohler. I would suggest getting the Kohler spark plug. They've made it specifically for this engine. Every time I take the spark plug out, I'm always looking at it. This one's running a little bit rich, so that means a little bit of short tripping. We need to let these engines get hot, at least a minute, for the O2 sensor to burn all the excess fuel off. And also when you're looking at that, you don't want to see the porcelain coming down around the electrode. We've been seeing a rash of those, which I don't know why, and it is making the car run rough. Now another thing too is, from the beginning of time with Club Car, we've always ran a resistor plug. That resistor plug means a lot, the resistor inside the plug. So on a Subaru or on a Kohler, if you go buy you a plug without the resistor in it, you can get a flashing check engine light, and that will be the cure. You didn't put a resistor plug in your Subaru or your Kohler. Now one of the things that Club Car says is, when we install this, is 20 foot-pounds of torque on that spark plug. That seems like a lot to me. We always want to put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads, so that thing will come out next time. Club Car says the gap on this spark plug is 0.44 thousandths. So that's perfect. And there's 20 foot-pounds, and the head survived, and so do I. So my message for today is, there is always, always, always something to be thankful for. So keep your chin up until the next round. Hello everyone, I hope you had a good week. So one thing I want to show you on your older cars, your older precedents, is how to put it in maintenance mode so you don't run yourself over. First of all, you will chalk your tires. Second of all, you can put the car in neutral and then come back here and pull this cam and flip it up to where the little leg is touching the micro switch. And then at that point, you can work on this car while you're in neutral. And you won't be taking a trip to the emergency room. Hello everyone, so this is going to be your last tip on winterizing your gas car for the year. We're going to go over belts today. And what I want to show you is, along with the heart of the engine, or the heart of the car, the engine, the belts play a very big role in how you get down the road. So I want to show you how these belts work. When you rev this up, you can watch the clutches. So when you watch that, the inside of the belt is not what does the work. The outsides of the belt, of both of these belts, are what do the work. So when you think about that, everybody, I'm just trying to help you save money. Everybody wants to, when you're doing a winterization or an annual service, everybody wants to skip the belt to save a little money. But I'm here to tell you that if you replace that belt every once in a while, it will save you money because it will not eat the primary clutch. So let me take this off here and I'm going to show you something. So on the drive belt itself, every once in a while you can see cracks on the belt. I'm not too worried about the cracks. What I'm always worried about is the side of the belt, what does the work. So you think about that on the golf course, or you think about that on your driveway, and you're going through there and somebody gets in the sand trap and that belt's hot. Well, it will collect that sand. It will collect the rocks in that from your driveway. So this belt is designed to be softer than that primary clutch. So if you get sand in there, or you get rocks in there, or what have you, and you make the belt harder than that clutch, then it's going to eat that clutch. And then we're talking just $400, $500, $600 for a primary clutch. Or if the belt is burnt, it can start eating into that clutch. And let me show you a clutch I just replaced. If you look at that clutch, it is dented in right there. So what that will do, when that comes up against that belt like that with centrifugal force, it will start slipping right here. So when that belt gets harder than that clutch is when you will have a problem. So don't skip the belt, replace the belts. And that is your drive belt. We're gonna go over the generator belts. The generator belt is designed to do two things: start the car and charge the car. It's always working. And the same thing with that drive belt. That generator belt, it works on the edges. So the big rule of thumb for the generator belt to be tight is it should be 80 foot-pounds if you have a belt tensioner tool. But if you don't have a belt tensioner tool, the rule of thumb is that you should only be able to take that belt and go 90 degrees. If you can go further like that, then that belt is not tight enough. So you should only be able to go 90 degrees. Now, we came out with a cool little tool. You don't have to use pry bars or anything like that. This is a Generator Titan tool, and you can get it at Clear Creek Vehicles. Man, this saves you a lot of work right here. This tool is worth its weight in gold. And it just slips right in. We'll loosen this nut back here on this generator. And then just tighten it up until we get only 90-degree turn on that belt. And that is perfect. So with that said, you do not have to use no more pry bars. You do not have to bend the throttle cables. With that tool, it saves you so much time. And then we'll just lock it down. And if you're a technician, you will want that tool. Here at Clear Creek Vehicles, we do Bible study on Tuesday before the doors open, and we do leadership on Wednesday before the doors open. And with that, the people that I see that involve themselves and get involved in that group, it puts a positive outlook on everything we do here. And I would like to know, what do you do to stay positive? Until the next round. Hello everyone. So this week we're going to show you how to remove your gas from your gas tank. You can actually buy this from Dewey off of Amazon. This is a great tool. You don't have to mess with no pumps, no sparks off your battery or anything like that. And it will pull the gas right out of that tank. And it's so user friendly. And it's as simple as that. You don't have no sparks. You typically won't need this. And this is what if you had your car sitting all winter and then you get a layer of ethanol, this is what we're trying to pull out of there. A lot of people like stable, like enzymes and stuff like that. I believe if you fill your car up full of premium gas, you will not run into any problem, and you fill it all the way up for wintertime. So on extreme cases, I have seen where ethanol has acted like glue inside the hoses. Now, if this is an older Kawasaki, so we don't have much pressure on the fuel lines. If you have any EFI, you're dealing with anywhere from 35 PSI to 50 PSI. So when you disconnect the hose, you're gonna have some gas go everywhere. Now you can undo the pigtail to the fuel pump, run it for a little while, and relieve the pressure. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna clean everything out and make sure all that old gas is out, and we're gonna install a fuel filter. So what I will do for this, when I want to get all of the ethanol, all of the bad gas out of the tank. So I'll let this thing run, or you can just let what we're doing is using the fuel pump to pump the rest of it out of the lines. All right, now that there is no more fuel coming out of that fuel filter, I want to stop at that point. We'll change the fuel filter. Now, on our Club Car fuel filter, I only run Club Car fuel filters. You will see the arrow, and that tells you fuel should come in here, exit here. And that will make these run bad if you do it the wrong way. So the fuel is coming in and going down to the fuel pump with that arrow. And there was one simple reason that I didn't run it until the bowl was empty, because I noticed a lot of times when you run that carburetor until the bowl's empty, you're going to pick up everything off the bottom of that bowl, and then you're going to be coming in and spending $400 with me to put a carb on it. So don't run it. Just run it until the filter's empty, and then change the filter, and then add new fuel. And that is how we change the bad gas out of our cars. So with that said, I would like to end with, there are 19 million children that live in a single parent home. So maybe some of us can become mentors and find the results will be gratifying. Until the next round.